عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم واذكر في الكتاب إبراهيم إنه كان صديقا نبيا إذ قال لأبيه يا أبت لم تعبد ما لا يسمع ولا يبصر ولا يغني عنك شيئا يا أبت إني قد جاءني من العلم ما لم يأتك فاتبعني أهدك صراطا سويا يا أبت لا تعبد الشيطان إن الشيطان كان للرحمن عصيا يا أبت إني أخاف أن يمسك عذاب من الرحمن فتكون للشيطان وليا قال أراغب أنت عن آلهتي يا إبراهيم لئن لم تنته لأرجمنك واهجرني مليا قال سلام عليك سأستغفر لك ربي إنه كان بي حفيا وأعتزلكم وما تدعون من دون الله وأدعو ربي عسى ألا أكون بدعاء ربي شقيا فلما اعتزلهم وما يعبدون من دون الله وهبنا له إسحاق ويعقوب وكلا جعلنا نبيا ووهبنا لهم من رحمتنا وجعلنا لهم لسان صدق عليا صدق الله العظيم وبلغنا رسوله النبي الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Surah Maryam, the next part of the story, the next story that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions and the lessons therein is of Hazrat Ibrahim ala Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. وَاذْكُرْ فِي الْكِتَابِ Ibrahim. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam is being asked and mentioned in the book the story of Ibrahim. إِنَّهُ كَانَ صِدِّيقًا نَبِيًّا. Indeed he was Siddiq and a prophet. So every prophet is Siddiq. Who's Siddiq? The literal meaning is a truthful person. The meaning that Mufassirin have went with is that a person who has truth between their inner self and their outer self. Their action and their word, what they are inside, what they are outside, they are truthful. And every Nabi is a Siddiq, but not every Siddiq is a Nabi. Nubuwwat, prophethood is something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives and chooses, but Siddiqiyat, truthfulness is something that one can earn. How can one earn Siddiqiyat? By working on their inner self and their outer self and creating good qualities. That is how a person becomes Siddiq. And the highest Siddiq of this ummah is the Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anh, the closest Sahabi of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Nobody can reach his station, but any station of Siddiqiyat, of being truthful, under him, all of them are open. We should ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us the best Siddiq. Ameen. The highest Siddiq. إِذْ قَالَ لِأَبِيهِ. Had Ibrahim alayhi salam, when he said, لِأَبِيهِ, to his father. Now when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, لِأَبِيهِ, some Mufassirin have went with the meaning that Azar, he was not a real father of Had Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, but this is an allegorical term. He was the leader of the nation. One. The other meaning that some other Mufassirin went with was that he was his uncle, not real father. إِذْ قَالَ لِأَبِيهِ يَا أَبَتِي, O my father. So again, whenever he says my father, he refers in that out of respect. لِمَ تَعْبُدُ مَا لَا يَسْمَعُ وَلَا يُبْصِرُ وَلَا يُغْنِي عَنْكَ شَيْئًا. Why do you, my dear father, why do you worship something that does neither hear nor see nor help you in any way? So the Mufassirin have written that Hazrat Ibrahim والسلام, was in a very difficult situation at this time, because he has been given the wahi by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and he's been made Nabi, and the job of a Nabi is primarily, first and foremost, to call people towards the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The whole tribe, all the people, and his own father or the leader, whoever it is, they are worshippers of the idols and mushrik. So how does he balance the respect of a parent versus the job that he has as a Nabi? And he does so very beautifully. And this tells us that even if our parents are kuffar, na'uzu billah, even if they are disbelievers, we are not allowed to disrespect them. We are not allowed by any means. Even if they are kafirs, we are not allowed to disrespect them. We will still respect them and listen to them, except in the matters of deen, if they are kuffar. And if they even if they are Muslim and they command us to do something haram, then we will not do that haram thing. But still, them being a Muslim or being a kafir, telling us to do haram or halal, will still deal with them with utmost respect. So, إِذْ قَالَ لِأَبِيهِ يَا أَبَتِ, my dear father. And every sentence that Ibrahim has said and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned, it starts with this word Ya Abati, my dear father, Ya Abati, my dear father, Ya Abati. Then, in all these sentences, none of these sentences he directly calls him a kafir. Out of respect, he only very wisely mentions the hollow nature of worshipping, the baselessness of worshipping idols. So the first sentence is Ya Abati lima ta'budu, my father, my dear father, why do you worship ma la yasma'u wa la yubsir, the one that does not hear, the one that does not see, wa la yughni anka shay'an, and cannot help you in any way. Something that was very apparent to the eye and very easy to understand even by somebody who was worshipping that idol or those idols, that they neither hear you nor they see nor they can help you in any way. And in another place, Ibrahim alayhi salam also proved it to them by destroying all of them and putting the hammer on the shoulder of the biggest one, and then said that if they can help themselves, they cannot even help themselves, then how can they help anyone else? So he proved this fact very logically. But to his father in his conversation, very respectfully, he only mentioned that why do you worship something that basically cannot do anything. The other thing that should be mentioned is that even if someone can do so, if somebody can hear and somebody can see and if somebody can help you in any way, that does not mean that they should be worshipped. But because he was dealing with idol worshippers, this was the first and the easiest thing to make them understand. To worship someone is somebody who has been there forever, who has created us, who gives us everything, and nobody apart from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can do so. Ya Abati, O my dear father, Inni qad ja'ani min al-ilm. Indeed, there has come to me a knowledge, so he's referring to the wahi. Ma lam ya'tik, that has not come to you. Fattabi'ni ahdika siratan sawiyya. So follow me and I shall lead you to a straight path. So, even the father and the seniors of a Nabi have to follow the Nabi, even if that might be less than those people in age. He is still greater in status and he has to obey. He has to be obeyed. Ya Abati, O my dear father, La ta'budu shaitan, do not worship shaitan. So the tafsir written here is that they did not worship shaitan, but worshipping anyone apart from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or listening to anyone apart from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is like worshipping the shaitan, because it is with the action of shaitan. That shaitan tells people to worship anybody except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inna shaitana kana lirrahmani asiyya. The shaitan surely is rebellious to the Rahman, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, all merciful. Ya Abati, my dear father, inni akhafu an yamassaka adhabu min ar-Rahman. I fear lest a punishment from the all merciful, the Rahman, should afflict you. Fatakuna lish-shaytani waliya, and you become a companion of shaitan. So Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam was sure that if my father and other people do not come out of their ways of worshipping associate gods, then definitely a punishment will befall upon them from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and in that they will, in this world they are companions of shaitan by listening to him, and in the world, in the hereafter, they will also become companions of shaitan. فَتَكُونَ لِلشَّيْطَانِ وَلِيًّا, you will become companions of shaitan. قَالَ, all these respectful ways of Ibrahim alayhi salam, Azar, he met him with a very rude way, and he said, قَالَ أَرَاغِبٌ أَنْتَ عَنْ آلِهَتِي يَا إِبْرَاهِيمُ, are you averse against the gods, my gods, in آلِهَتِي يَا إِبْرَاهِيمُ, لَإِن لَمْ تَنْتَهِ لَأَرْجُمَنَّكَ, if you do not stop, I will definitely stone you to death. وَهْجُرْنِي مَلِيًّا, and he said, leave me for good. So now Azar is very clearly telling him that if you continue your prophetic ways and prophetic call, then I am going to stone you to death, and I am going to so I ask you to leave me alone. I am happy with what I am doing. Qala, at this point Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam said, Salamun alayk, salam be upon you, peace upon you. So astaghfiru laka rabbi. Now all that is left for me is that I will seek istighfar for you, and the way I seek maghfirat for you forgiveness for you. The way that Allah can forgive you, Allah will forgive you, is that Allah gives you guidance and then you repent and Allah forgives you. So astaghfirullah rabbi, I will seek forgiveness for you from my Lord. Innahu kana bi hafiya. He's always been very gracious to me. He has been always gracious to me. وَأَعْتَزِلُكُمْ وَمَا تَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ. And I shall go away from you. And وَمَا وَأَعْتَزِلُكُمْ وَمَا تَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ. I leave you, I turn away from you, and whatever you call apart from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So spiritually, by a matter of belief, I was always not with you, and now physically also I'm going to leave this place and I'm going to leave all of you. وَأَدْعُو رَبِّي. And I'm going to only invoke and call after my Lord. عَسَىٰ أَلَّا أَكُونَ بِدُعَاءِ رَبِّي شَقِيًّا. Hopefully I shall not be a loser by invoking my Lord. So I will not lose. He had hope in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this was a very tough time, and he was very full of sorrow that he had to leave his family, his people, his parents, everyone behind. And basically, when Ibrahim a.s. was going away and migrating towards Levant or Sham, he did not basically have anybody except for his wife and his in some narrations it is mentioned that Hazrat Lut was also with him, and they were also related. So general people, basically nobody listened to him, nobody turned to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he left in a very sorrowful state. فَلَمَّا اعْتَزَلَهُمْ. So as he did so, placing his hope in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and saying that I will keep calling my Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and working after my Lord, and He's been very gracious to me, and I have not been a loser. I hope I will not be a loser in calling after him. فَلَمَّا اعْتَزَلَهُمْ. When he went away from them, وَمَا يَعْبُدُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ. And whatever they worshipped apart from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَهَبْنَا لَهُ إِسْحَاقَ وَيَعْقُوبَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him the best of the blessings, one of the best of the blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives to anybody, which is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him a son, Ishaq, and by that, of course, it is understood that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also gave him a wife. So a complete family, a wife and Ishaq, son. Not only Ishaq, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also mentions Yaqub, that son lived long enough to have a grandson from Ibrahim a.s. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him a son and a grandson. So basically Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him a wife, a son and a grandson. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him a complete family. The people that he left behind, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him much better people and much better companions. وَكُلًّا جَعَلْنَا نَبِيًّا. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made all of them Anbiya. Had Ishaq, had Yaqub, and many Anbiya and their progeny. وَوَهَبْنَا لَهُم مِّن رَحْمَتِنَا. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bestowed on them all of these a great deal of our mercy. وَجَعَلْنَا لَهُمْ لِسَانَ صِدْقٍ عَلِيًّا. And we caused them to have a good name at a high level. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them, all of them, a lot of respect. So the lesson here is that one should not give hope, and one should keep placing their trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and keep calling politely towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and keep placing their hope and expectation of reward in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not in people. Sometimes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewards with the people that you are calling, sometimes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewards one with some other people in some other way. Our real goal should be to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does definitely respond. ربنا تقبل منا انك انت السميع العليم وتب علينا انك انت التواب الرحيم وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه سيدنا مولانا محمد وعلى اله وصحبه اجمعين.